day, I'm fed up, I'm strapped, playlist on. I laugh at the RPMs as they ramp up. Blacked up under me, I don't feel pain. Zigzag to the beat like I own that lane. Kinda wild, kinda stupid, still I do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, count me in, I'm coming alive. 3, 2, 1, hold tight, baby, watch me drive. Kinda goofy, kinda dumb, I never die, say worst days hit hard, I still survive. Goofy in this lane, don't do anything stupid, that's what they say. I'm alive, yo. I know I'm alive, laughing in my helmet with a busted tooth, burning through the bad stuff, turn the key, motor comes to life, feel my heart skip a beat, pushing back the worst thought of the world gets mean. I get mean too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, count me in, I'm coming alive. 3, 2, 1, hold tight, baby, watch me dream. Goofy on the grind, I never die, say worst days hit hard, I still survive. Don't do anything stupid, that's what they say. I know I'm alive, I know I'm alive, no. Cold hands, warm blood, I still move on. Bad luck, sticks and stones, I just groove on. If I fall, I get back up because mommy didn't raise no bitch. You can call me reckless, you can call it luck. Sure. Little goofy, little dumb, I never die. Worst days hit hard and still survive. Goofy on the grind, I never die. I know I'm alive, I know I'm alive. Am I alive? Am I alive?
Well, hello again, and welcome back to Flying on Dine Gaming. Tonight we're jumping back into Voyager Beta, a dungeon AI built world where the narrator and the game master are an AI that run through a story. And as you can see, I am joined by Yahi, Neo, and Cosmo. Or Yoda. Jeez, I'm looking at the names on the screen.
Hello,
Say hello.
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 Hi.
What's going on here then?
And yeah, guys, gals, whatever you want to be, remember to like, subscribe, turn on the bell, check out the link below for Discord tips, tricks. Always welcome if you want to game with me. That's where you're going to find me. If you're feeling frisky and froggy, hit the join button. I'd love to have you part of that fun crew. Boom. All right, done. Let's do it. All right, recap. What were we doing?
We've just arrived at Marden's Watch, the Tower of Adventure, I think. It does say
Quick
yeah.
recap. Let's see what the narrator does with that. Oh, if I write it in the narrator thing. Quick recap. Let's see what narrator says. Yeah. We just...
So
There's somewhere... like-
successful raid on a church. Oh yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, we just raided the church. Yeah.
I've got the heads in my net basket. Evidence. Cosmo's carrying a bag of containing the cultist heads and their crimson robes. The people also found a silver-bound prayer book with a scratched-in map pointing towards the High Vale foothills.
Yeah, our current goal is we are currently in the contract hall standing before Laurel, which is that guy.
Russian lawn.
The map claiming your bounty, information meeting the counselor. You just finished your long rest and you're geared to prepare. Oh yes, we just left we just all slept for the night, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we were sitting at the table
I was about to make a rat head necklace, but it didn't trigger, so...
Oh, yeah. Hello,
We were
Yahi
sleeping
in
circuit,
chat.
I
Heart,
believe,
heart, heart.
where Stone said.
Yeah. Okay. Here's my inventory real quick. Guess we'll just follow the party. I guess we'll get up to speed.
Because we left, then we moved. We're here, so so we're going to leverage the information for a meeting with the council. So
Quick. Nothing fancy. Northvale. Okay. I'm glad I walked the dogs because it is pouring right now.
it just started to tip down.
Yeah. Yeah, he was checking ferries today from Dunkirk, France to England. So we're starting to map out our journey up to Scotland.
Oh, okay. You're going to Scotland? Damn.
At some point.
Oh, fair play.
Going up to Inverness.
That's my bit.
Flannel detaches himself from the main group as they cross the threshold, his dark scales drinking in the dim light. He moves with a fluid, silent grace, sticking to the deep shadows cast by the massive stone pillars and decorative tapestries. His green eyes are narrow and focused, scanning the balconies and the crowded floor for any sign of a threat or an unwanted eavesdropper. Neo, Pippa Tumblebrook, and Cosmo follow Vera Stone toward the center of the hall. The Giantborn moves with a steady, purposeful stride, his heavy armor cranking softly as he keeps pace with his companions, his mind fixed on the promise of a fair split of the reward. Vera Stone reaches the high marble desk of the Herald. Without a word of greeting, she heaves the heavy, blood-stained net bag upward. It hits the polished surface with a wet, heavy thud that echoes through the nearby silence of the scribe's alcoves.
We've ended the ritual beneath the Syndicate counting house. We have the proof, and we have a name for the council.
Rochon Lawn flinches slightly at the impact, his sharp gaze snapping up from a vellum scroll. He slowly sets down his quill, his eyes moving from the gore-soaked bag to Vera's steady expression.
a bold claim. State your names for the record, and tell me the nature of this threat you've supposedly quelled. I believe this will speak louder than we can, Herald.
Elaine places the silver-bound prayer book on the desk, opening it to the back cover where the indented map is visible. He traces the scratched lines with a slender finger.
This leads toward the city of ancestors. The cultists we broke were serving a dragon named Atravaraxis. They claim she is moving north to meet someone called the Prince.
A hush falls over the scribes nearby as the name Atravaraxis is spoken. Roshan Lorne's face pales slightly, his fingers trembling as he reaches out to touch the leather of the book. At the edge of the circle, Ula Finehair shifts her weight, her hand resting near the pommel of her blade. She stands with her back to the desk, her icy blue eyes darting between a pair of curious sellswords and a robed warlock who has paused too long to listen.
Move along. The Herald is busy with League
Feels so
business.
squeaky.
This isn't a puppet show.
Flannel watches from the rafters above,
We can
his
quiet.
serpentine form
Yep.
coiled around a stone
mission and
gargoyle. From his
very
vantage point,
squeakish.
he monitors the entire hall, his venomous arrows ready as he ensures the party's briefing remains uninterrupted by the growing crowd.
Okay. Do-do-do.
When they say dragon, you think they mean dragonborn, or you think they mean actual dragon?
Dragon.
Cool.
Yeah, that sounds, Atravaraxis sounds like a dragon name.
Atravaraxis.
Didn't they call her a Dragon Queen before?
Yeah. It's gonna be my stage name if I ever become a stripper. I was trying not to laugh at my own joke, but
Not too tired, just shaking my head over here.
Alright. I have a free point available. I don't think I have anything I really want to spend points on unless I have like new spells, but I don't think I do.
I have so many nature things to invest into.
I have bow stuff, but I'm trying to hold out for like my conjuring, but I guess maybe I need to get my conjuring skill up. Maybe I need to play
Get
with
the
that.
the thunder rainstorms, whatever.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, next time someone.
How are you feeling? And you just like summon a rain cloud
yeah,
above your
there's-
head. I'm
there's
having
no
a great
point.
day.
Yeah, kind of.
Alright, what are we
I was almost
doing?
thinking about doing that as a personal shower earlier.
Oh, that would be a good idea. Quest complete. Field journey.
Did we
Alright.
get the coins and stuff?
Yes, yeah, he asked for our reward. Where is our coin?
Um, there's not much we can really do, can't there? So, until it plays out and we get what we need to get, unless people wants to haggle for a better reward for us all.
Yeah, there's not much to really do right this second, I don't think. Like on the world. We don't have anything on the world that, like, shows anything useful.
Cosmo remains a silent, immovable anchor behind the group, his arms crossed over his iron breastplate. His grey eyes move slowly across the hall, watching the hands of every passing adventurer, while his massive shadow looms over the herald's desk. High above, in the vaulted shadows, Flannel clings to the stone gargoyle, his black scales invisible against the soot-stained masonry. He keeps his gaze fixed on the exits and the high balconies, his hand hovering near his flatbow as he waits for the exchange to conclude.
That's a lot of scary talk, but we did our part. What about the reward? A name like that shouldn't come cheap.
Russian Lawn looks from the grisly trophies to the small halfling, his expression shifting from shock to a strained professional mask. He snaps his fingers, signaling a ratfolk scribe who scurries forward from behind a tapestry.
The League honors its debts, Master
They're quiet.
Tumbledook. Disrupting
Very
a
quiet.
ritual of this magnitude beneath a syndicate house is no small feat, and the name you've brought is a dark omen indeed.
The scribe returns, dragging a small, heavy wooden chest that scrapes loudly against the marble floor. Roshan flips the latch, revealing the dull orange glint of tightly packed copper coins.
500 gold-washed florins for the cell and the intelligence. It is a pittance compared to the trouble this Atravaraxis might cause, but it is what the charter allows for a Tier 1 clearance.
Not bad for a night in the sewers. What's the next move, Vera? Do we get to spend it first?
We take the coin and we move. We restock our packs, arrows, salt, fresh oil, and we head for the Highvale foothills. If this Dragon Queen is moving toward the City of Ancestors, we need to find that trail before the wind and the rain take it.
Vera gestures for Cosmo to take the chest. Elaine watches the gold with a predatory gleam in his
To pick up
eyes,
the chest?
already calculating his cut as he leans against the herald's desk.
Why does he get
The
a cut?
foothills are a long walk.
He shot an
And
arrow.
the Howler of North Vale has been
One.
sighted near the pass. We should be careful not to trade one cult for a hungry beast.
From his
Good, you've
hidden
been paid.
perch, Flannel watches the gold change hands. Satisfied, he begins a silent descent down the textured stone of the pillar, preparing to slip back into the group's wake as they prepare to depart the tower.
So, we're going up to Highvale, and I assume the Howler is in the North Vale. So where's North Vale from here? Is it, like, really high up? Where the hell is North Vale? Maybe it's one of the unexplored. It's not too far from us. It's only like 23 kilometers. It's a 2-day trip. To trigger the Howler North Vale, you'll need to head to the Broken Hills. Okay, where are the Broken Hills? The Broken Hills are just to the north of us, on our way to the Highlands, which we're trying to get to. What did they say? The foothills? White
Yeah.
Fang sounds like a really
Yeah,
nice
Highlands.
place.
Huh?
I don't see the foothills as like an actual point on the map unless I'm just
But it
missing.
doesn't say foothills. What does it foothills?
It says we have to head to the foothills, right? That's what she said. The foothills are a long walk, and the Howler of the North Vale has been sighted near the pass. Okay. So I guess we'll head to the Broken hills. Maybe we can have fun with this, the Howler of the North Vale, on our way to the foothills.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Where the frick are they?
I don't know location. Can be one of the question marks.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's probably one of the question marks. So even if we go to the Broken Hill and then we kind of like trigger, I guess we could ask Valera Stone. Or no, not Valera. Who is it? It's him. Where are the foothills? Okay, never mind. He's not going to talk to me.
It's that narrator say we have to go to the Broken Hills.
No, that's for the Howler of the North Vale.
Yeah, but it's
That's
past there. Because Vera said we restock our packs, blah blah blah. we need
Cosmo
to
took
go.
all 500.
Yeah, she said that. What did she say?
Don't
The
worry.
foothills are a long
I'm not
walk,
worried
and
at
the
all.
Howler of the North Vale has been sighted near the pass. So the Howler is on the same way.
Yep.
Elaine said it. So if we go to the Broken Hills, that's where we trigger the Howler and North Vale. So it's up there.
All right. Pippa, lead us to the Broken Hills, I guess.
But we need to restock stuff. Are you all good?
We need to restock, like, just in case, like health potions, or essentials. Bosh.
What gear am I missing?
I didn't get any of the of the money.
No,
Good.
Cosmo hasn't.
I'm just about to distribute it. So
I was like, we've been robbed.
no. I'm hoping it prompts it.
Take me to 4 so I can make a golden apple grow. Or something.
Pippa Tumblebrook, female lyrical bright. We
No,
walk to the
God damn
market
it.
and restock
Yeah, no, this one
essentials
go now.
before departing to the Broken
No,
Hills.
you know what to write.
Vera Stone catches the purse of coins tossed
right
by
there.
Cosmo,
Logs.
checking the weight with a sharp, appreciative nod before stowing it in her belt.
Vera Stone, female
Why is it
harsh
broken?
commanding. Finish
Neo
your
knows how
business
to fix
quickly
it.
at the
It'll-
market.
It'll be
That's why.
okay.
We have a long road ahead to the foothills,
Done my
and
eye.
I'd like to see those hills before the sun dips. Elaine, male, sly, manipulative. I know a contact in the Merchant's Square who might have that dexterity ring you're after, Flannel, provided you've got the coin to make it worth his trouble. Roshan Lorne, male, British, refined. Go. Your business here is concluded.
The herald turns to his ratfolk scribe,
Why did
his
it just
voice
give
dropping
it
to a
to
grave
Vera?
whisper as he gives the order to record the name Atroveraxis in the ledger of active threats.
Ula fine hair, female calm relaxing. Keep your coin. I haven't earned a share of this yet. I'll give Flannel a hand with those supplies instead.
The
I didn't
party
put you
exits the
down.
cool stone
All
silence of the
fine.
tower and descends into the bustling chaos of Thousand Lights Market. The old Colosseum walls tower overhead, its tiered arches now filled with shops and permanent tenements. Thousands of brass, copper, and tin lanterns hang from every available beam, their perforated star and moon shapes casting a flickering golden glow over the maze of stalls below. Flannel moves through the stalls with Ula, picking up 3 ceramic vials of thick, red healing potion and a bundle of 15 broad-headed arrows. At a dusty bookstall, he finds 2 aged volumes bound in cracked leather, The Principles of Spatial Manifestation and Whispers of the Unseen Plane, which he tucks into his satchel. Guided by Elaine's direction, Flannel finds a jewelry merchant in a quiet corner of the square, who presents a thin silver band set with a tiny, faceted amber stone. The ring fits snugly, the enchantment within feeling like a subtle, tightening tether on his reflexes. With their packs heavier and their purses lighter by 180 florins, the group regathers near the market's western exit. The smell of roasting meat and spices
I
fills
didn't
the
mean
air
for it
as
to, like-
merchants shout their
Okay.
final prices of the hour.
I guess that's fair.
Vera Stone, female harsh commanding. That's the lot then. The road north starts at the main gate. Let's move before the afternoon crowd gets any thicker.
The group turns away from the golden lights of the market and begins the trek toward the city gates, leaving the safety of Alden's watch behind for the rocky slopes of the Broken Hills.
What? This big company.
Okay. Apparently it cost me 94.
Need to find original prompt. Hope this works. Hope this works.
Yeah, you have to write yes in the narrator chat.
I was looking for the button to approve it.
Well, I hope this works now. See after this thinking. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. I just want to check something real quick.
We'll also copy that text so we don't lose it again.
That's... The ring provides a since you just purchased it, I can add a +2 dexterity bonus to the item properties for you. No, I want to know what it's supposed to have. I don't want to just give myself stuff. I want to know what it should have. What should a uncommon dexterity ring have for buffs?
I mean, do you have a appraisal? Look at appraise it before buying it.
No, I just did it as a prompt, but it only gave me a +1 dexterity, and I want to make sure, like, that's what it's supposed to. But it's looking like should provide a moderate helpful boost to the character, adding +2 dexterity bonus, because it is an uncommon type item. I can add the +2 dexterity bonus to the ring. Now, if you would, yeah. Shall I go ahead and change it? Yes. Let's see if that does it right. Probably broke it. Of course it did. Alright. You guys rate your turn while I fix this.
Well, that's very particular in how we phrase stuff often, not when it breaks also.
Yeah. Well, I just made it so I can't equip it now.
Also didn't accept Yoda's thing to split the loot. Like he didn't read his part.
I ignored his prompt, you mean?
Yep. Well, no, it said he split it between everybody, but it didn't actually do it.
I don't think it was.
So we need to tell the narrator to verify that and fix it.
And then we didn't get to shop, like only Dan got to shop.
I made it part of my prompt.
Yeah. Well, I was collecting bears, I'm not sure I did. No, also I was ignored it.
You did not give me. Where's the second one?
Yes, we need Dr. Phil.
Don't mind me, just making sure the city didn't drop anything important on our...
Pippa lingers at the edges of the group, her gaze darting between the cracks in the cobblestones and the shadows behind merchant crates. Near a stack of discarded fish barrels, she spots a glint of metal and deftly snatches a tarnished copper button with a lion's head relief before skipping back to join the others.
Eyes up. The Syndicate has long memories and longer reach. We aren't clear until the walls are behind us.
If we keep this pace, we'll hit the lower slopes by nightfall. The wind gets bitey up there, but it's better than sleeping in a ditch within earshot of the city bells.
The party navigates the final stretch of the city's interior, passing through the massive, iron-studded western... The shadow of the Great Wall falls over them briefly, before they emerge into the sprawling activity of Arden's Landing. This is the city's front porch, a massive riverside district where the Great North River meets the Silver Flow. The air is thick with the smell of river silt, cured lumber, and the sweat of hundreds of laborers. To one side, a forest of masts sways as ships from the Spice Isles and the Bright Kingdoms unload caravans of heavy, canvas-topped wagons queue for entry, their drivers swearing at stubborn mules while guards in the Lord Mayor's colours move among them, checking manifests. Near the centre of the landing stands the towering statue of Arden himself, his stone hand raised in a silent blessing toward the horizon. A group of pilgrims huddled near the base of the statue looks up as the armoured party passes. One of them, a withered man leaning on a walking stick, offers a toothless smile and a shallow nod.
May the wayfarer keep your feet light. Travelers, the hills are growling early this season.
Okay, ignore this all.
Flannel falls back to the rear of the file. He draws his kit, carefully coating the tips of his new broad heads and venom-tipped arrows with a fresh layer of paralytic toxin. Between the oiling, he pauses to study the churned mud and dust of the Great North Road. Flannel looks for the distinctive heavy prints of cultist boots or the scorched earth that follows the pyre, but the traffic of Arden's Landing is too thick. Thousands of boots, hooves, and wagon wheels have pulverized any specific trail into a mess of generic travel grit, leaving the Serpentine with only a vague sense of the northern heading.
Stick close. These docks are a hive for Syndicate lookouts. Keep your hands near your steel until we're past the last of the warehouses.
Pippa Tumblebrook maintains her pace, her small frame weaving easily between the legs of porters and the stacks of lumber. She keeps her head down, her eyes darting between the pockets of passing merchants and the road ahead, ensuring she doesn't lose sight of Vera's auburn hair in the throng.
That's a nasty bit of preparation. You might need every drop. When the locals say the hills are growling, they aren't talking about the wind. The North Vale howler has been bold lately, picking off stragglers right off the trade road. Once we hit the first rise of the foothills, we look for high ground with a single approach. I'd rather not be caught in the open when the sun fails us.
The party leaves the paved stones of the landing behind, the road transitioning into hard packed dirt that winds upward toward the purple-grey silhouettes of the broken hill. the bustle of the city fades into the distance, replaced by the lonely whistle of the wind through the high grass.
There, we'll gain some elevation and see if we can spot any smoke.
I only coded one of the arrows. Okay.
Arlene has changed picture.
He's been in the wild.
Dum, 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 dum.
Flannel settles into a rhythmic walk at the rear of the file, his long fingers working with practiced ease. He draws his alchemy kit, carefully applying a thick greenish paralytic toxin to the tips of his 14 broad-headed arrows. The coating glistens momentarily before seeping into the iron, ensuring each shot will do more than just draw blood. As he works, Flannel studies the surrounding terrain for signs of the North Vale howler. He notices a lack of small game near the road. No rabbits in the brush, no low-flying birds, and spots deep, 4-clawed gouges in the bark of a lightning-scarred pine. The markings are fresh and set high, suggesting a predator of immense size and territorial aggression.
Not a lot of chatter out here, is there? Even the crickets are keeping their mouths shut.
Pippa keeps her pace steady, her eyes darting across the landscape. She notes the way the tall grass bows in a direction contrary to the wind, indicating something large might have passed through recently. She spots a discarded, blood-stained leather glove snagged on a thorn bush and a set of heavy wagon ruts that end abruptly in a patch of churned, blackened earth.
Need to keep the blood moving.
Cosmo swerves toward the edge of the path, his eyes locking onto a jagged, waist-high boulder half buried in the scree. He digs his boots into the dirt and heaves the massive stone upward, his muscles bulging as he lifts the weight to his chest and begins a series of rhythmic presses. Each movement sends a dull thud through the earth as he lets the rock settle before hoisting it again.
Cosmo, I appreciate the dedication to the craft. Really. But the training with the landscaping can wait until we have a secure camp. We're still in Syndicate reach, and if that wolf Elaine mentioned is around, I'd rather you didn't ring the dinner bell with a boulder.
The earth here is thirsty, but it still remembers how to give.
Neo places his palms against the parched soil at the base of a withered thicket.
I give
A
up.
soft, emerald light pulses from his hands, and the dry branches begin to twist and lengthen with unnatural speed. Vibrant green leaves unfurl in seconds, followed by clusters of heavy purple berries that swell with sweet juice, offering a fresh meal to the weary travelers.
Good look on those arrows. You'll want 'em. Reports say the howler is larger than a mountain lion and twice as mean. If you see a carcass with the throat ripped out and the rest left to rot, we've found its border. It doesn't hunt for hunger alone. It hunts for the sport of it.
Elaine continues to lead the way toward the jagged rock formations, his pace brisk as the shadows of the broken hills stretch long over the trail. The group climbs higher, leaving the scents of the river and the city behind for the sharp, dry air of the uplands.
Look there. That's not a forest fire, and it's too dark for a traveler's hearth. Someone's burning something they don't want. Found. If we're lucky, it's the trail we're looking for. If we're unlucky, they've already found us.
All substance. Allows local to produce an immediate edible yield. This technique provides
It's like verdant growth, to be honest.
Is it the same, like a similar skill?
Yeah, almost
Choice.
identical.
Yeah. journey looking for it, haven't you? So,
Well, if I can detect it through nature and plants, then yeah.
Talk to the trees, Neo. Tell me what they whisper.
Well, if the land literally detects everything in the area. If they are hiding and touching ground, then I see them.
the tree ants come alive. Swishing, swishing.
Nature is basically screaming, "Hey, there they are! Come grab them!"
He's over here! Frick him up!
Yeah, I know.
He killed my friend, the dandelion!
Yeah, exactly.
The veil howlers as you grass. To grass.
Exactly what land means. Every straw, every living, whatever, can detect anything. If I succeed, I know exactly where they are. Yeah, basically that was easy.
Flannel drifts toward the jagged rock shelves, his charcoal scales blending into the deepening shadows as the sun sinks. He moves with a hunter's silence, his eyes fixed on the disturbances in the brush. On a flat granite overhang, he finds a clump of matted, bristly fur caught in a cleft, and the distinct musky stench of an apex predator. High above on a sun-bleached ridge, a massive silhouette with a thick mane and glowing yellow eyes watches the party for a single heartbeat before vanishing into a crevice. When the group pauses near a cluster of wind-carved stones, Flannel settles into a pocket of shade and opens the cracked leather cover of the Principles of Spatial Manifestation.
The author, Magister Valerius of the Seven Gates, asserts that reality is not a solid wall, but a layered tapestry of living power that can be pinched, folded, and unpicked by a disciplined will. A magus must first ground their own soul in an anchor of self before they can hope to displace the air around them without being torn apart by the spatial feedback. Detailed diagrams show the finger-twining patterns required to manifest a sudden threshold, a brief tear in space that allows for a stride of 10 paces to be crossed in a single blink.
I can feel it. The heartbeat of the hill is fast.
Neo extends his senses through the parched root systems and the vibration of the scree. Through his nature magic, he feels a heavy, rhythmic thrumming of paws moving parallel to their path, 300 paces to the north. The land carries the memory of blood and the frantic scuttle of prey fleeing from a presence that radiates a cold, predatory hunger. Cosmo lets the boulder drop with a heavy thud, ensuring it stands upright like a lonely sentinel on the slope. He brushes the stone dust from his palms and falls in with the others, his grey eyes constantly sweeping the perimeter as he adjusts the weight of his battle axe.
Not a trap, but close. Look at the way the gravel is kicked toward the path. Something was waiting here, and it wasn't a merchant.
Pippa finds a series of subtle signs, a snapped twig angled toward the group's flank, and a patch of flattened grass where a heavy body has recently crouched. Her investigation reveals no mechanical tripwires, but the behavioral traps of a stalker are everywhere in the narrowing pass.
We need to move. If we stay on these higher ridges, we can keep that smoke in sight without becoming targets for whatever is lurking in the hollows.
If you too see that howler move toward us, speak up. I can weave a glamour to mask our scent, but I need a moment's lead to set the threads.
The wisp of grey smoke on the horizon thickens, turning a sickly, charred black as the party nears a hidden cleft in the broken hills.
That's the smell of the pyre. If they're burning another outpost, they're looking for someone or something. The Queen doesn't want reaching the City of Ancestors.
Below the ridge, the group spots the skeletal remains of a small stone watchtower. Its wooden roof collapsed into a smouldering heap, while figures in crimson robes move through the ruins with torches. Moving among the cultists is a massive, manned beast that matches the silhouette Flannel saw earlier, its head turning toward the ridge as it catches a scent on the wind.
It looks like the howler found a new pack. If those cultists are using it to hunt the roads, they've just made themselves a priority for the League.
Bro. Okay. Can we see the... Who can we see now? I'm interested if it's in eyesight. Like, I guess we can see it. Okay, we can see the northern howler. A massive maned beast you spotted earlier is now moving along the cultists. Among the cultists. Oh. Neo, can you use your talking with the trees and see, or if they know a spot that's nearby that's good for an ambush?
Oh, that was an ability. That was one time in a lot of turns.
Oh. Damn.
Takes at least 5 more turns on that until that one recovers.
Cosmo, why don't you just stay hidden for now? Wait, how far is the Dale Howler from us?
I don't think I can use this basically.
Based on what you've seen from the ridge and the northern Vale Howler, and the cultists are currently down in the ruined watchtower at the base of the slope. You are watching from a higher ridge, which gives you a good vantage point and keeps you at a distance.
Where the beast is currently prowling.
300 paces away. Okay.
Am I just sitting down and taking a rest while you decide what you're doing? That's how I'm gonna stay out of the way.
Hippo, why don't you try to get a clear view on how many enemies we're dealing with? I will do the same. Neo, maybe you can build some snare traps with like your magic or something. And Cosmo, maybe you can build like a deadfall trap. I don't know. Go use your big rock that you've been liking to carry and make a trap out of it or something. I don't know. Because Neo, you have engineering, right?
Yeah, can combine stuff for that.
Yeah, so you should be able to make traps. Cosmo, you're strong, I think. Go, like, get ready to push a tree over. I don't know.
I was just gonna. This says I gotta stay out the way. Well, so I was just gonna sit down and take a rest while you sort what. I don't know.
Maybe you can have the 2 other NPCs sit with you. That way they don't go do something stupid.
Okay.
put traps around us to help deal with the cultists and North Vale Howler.
Yeah.
Something like that. Then.
Okay. Guess it's just me looking. Pippa's like, I ain't going near that thing.
Flannel slips away from the ridge, his charcoal scales shimmering once before. He vanishes into the brush. He finds a twisted ancient cedar and ascends with fluid, serpentine grace until he is nestled among the high, needle-thick branches. Perched in the canopy, Flannel looks down at the smouldering tower. He counts 6 crimson-robed cultists, 4 picking through the blackened rubble and 2 standing guard with jagged obsidian spears. The North Vale Howler stalks between them, its massive, musky frame nearly the size of a wagon, its tail twitching with a nervous, unnatural energy.
Go, see what they hide in the smoke.
The cobra coiled on Flannel's chest ripples and shifts, its scales lengthening into dark feathers. A charcoal-coloured hawk takes flight, spiraling silently over the watchtower. From his vantage, Flannel sees his familiar glide over the ruins, spotting a pile of stolen messenger satchels near the Howler and a strange, glowing ember held by the cultist leader. Back on the ridge, Neo kneels and presses his palms into the thin soil. A low, resonant hum vibrates through the air as emerald light bleeds into the earth.
Rise and bind. The hill protects its own.
Under Neo's command, the dry brambles and gnarled roots around the party's position begin to churn. Thick, iron-hard vines lunge from the scree, weaving themselves into a series of jagged, spring-loaded snares hidden beneath the loose rock. He subtly integrates the natural growth with the slope's geometry, creating a funnel of treacherous, grasping thorns that will snap shut on anything attempting to charge up the ridge. Pippa Tumblebrook slides into a narrow crevice between 2 boulders, disappearing from the sightline of the valley below. She pulls a whetstone from her kit, the rhythmic scritch pail of steel on stone, masked by the whistling wind.
If that big rogue with teeth comes up here, I'm going for the hamstrings.
As she sharpens her daggers, Pippa notices a series of small, silver-inked runes carved into the very base of the boulders she's hiding behind, old markers of the League, long since weathered. Cosmo lowers himself onto a flat shelf of rock near the ridge's edge, his massive frame sighing as he settles.
They've got a leash on it. See the way it flinches when the one in the center raises that torch? It's not loyalty keeping that howler there. It's either a dark spell, or they've been feeding it enough raw meat to make it lazy. If we can snap that tether, kill the handler or douse whatever's spooking it, that beast might decide it likes the taste of cultist better than traveler.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We wait for the scout. I've seen what a howler does to a full caravan. I'd rather not be the side dish in a crossfire between pyre fanatics and a mountain-sized wolf. We move when Flannel gives the word.
Oh God.
Oh, come on. It's only got 138 health. You guys think that's fair?
I should have learned the beast talk then and just make it friendly.
We gotta see if we can break the. It seems it.
So the Mountain of a Wolf has less health than the normal cultist.
All got 150.
I'll leave it if you guys think it's fair.
138. 162. 162.
What I'm thinking is I can send my familiar, like, diving from the sky and, like, either grab the staff thingy that's controlling the wolf.
You're not the only one with wings, tech speaking.
Yeah, you can go do it if you want.
Air attack, 2 birds, 1 stone.
Okay. I'll send my familiar.
That should be right. That mountain thing, the size of a cart, should be less health.
What do you guys think the health should be on it?
More than a mortal cultist.
Probably, what, 300? What was the dragon?
How much
Dragon
was the
was
dragon?
300.
Yeah, I don't know, at least
250 then?
50 something.
250 something?
The
I was estimated if you take the
200.
health bars unbalanced.
Okay. Do you think the powers HP is right?
Yeah, or unbalanced in comparison to cultist.
Oi!
Yeah. Even if things are wrong.
I can leave him up.
300 health boost. Yes.
Doesn't even matter if things
do
are wrong.
it.
Yes, do it.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, alright. That seems a little better.
Should always
So-
ask another valid question.
Yeah.
Am I just staying put? Because you're gonna try and.
So I was actually thinking for you, I was just thinking this because we're on like a mountain and stuff. I was thinking if you took a rock, like got a big boulder, prepped and ready to like roll it down the mountain or the hill.
Chuck it.
Yeah, chuck it or roll it. I don't know. I just think it's a cool idea.
Or I could find a pile of rocks and just launch them at, like, as like mortar fire. Just launching them like a series of rocks bouncing off all the cultists. Like, I don't know. Would that sound a bit OP?
It sounds like bowling cultist. Or
I don't know.
bowling might be better.
I'm gonna stone the cultist.
Gonna get stoned, man. Grabbing the... What did they call... What did he call it? Dark... It raised that... The center raises the torch. The... Leash? Leash? Torch?
Maybe. Do you want me to make it a rainstorm over there?
I don't see why not. That would probably help with dealing with their fire. And then when they get closer, you can put the silent buff on them, make them go through it, so they can't fire from a distance. But yeah, the rainstorm down there would probably annoy them.
Yeah, heavy downpour.
Can I make a bow shot from here on any enemies? She didn't actually tell us how far they are when I asked. She said 300 paces, which seemed a little bit out of my range. You're in a prime position for a shot, perhaps. In the cedar tree, you have a clear line of sight on everyone in the smoldering town. It gives... Wait, what? The cultist leader has already sniffed you out and is tainting... What?
Okay. Taunting, not tainting. Basically flipping with a finger. Taunting.
When did he see me?
Yeah, okay, so he knows you're here somehow. There you go.
Okay.
It's a snake sounds, I guess.
Huh. Okay, well, get ready for a fight then, guys. And gal.
Well, nature's wrath then, I guess.
You gonna give the word as well?
Well, that'd be nice.
I start launching them.
Go for that. Oh, wait, no. Then use... There we go. Alright, I'll try that. Then use shelf? Really? Why can I not spell?
Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
Yep, me too.
Stealth. There we go. I know what I'm doing. God, it's already midnight.
It goes fast on this. Everyone's concentrating on that and they don't really pay attention to the time. It's just thinking about what you're putting in.
Want them to be robbed of the magic at the same time.
Could try and get the.
Oh, that's on cooldown, apparently.
Oh.
Yeah, what's 15 turn to go? Oh, they've still been drenched. Level up AS, mobile, I'm happy.
High above
Ooh, I
in the
failed.
cedar, Flannel studies the
I didn't.
cultist
They
leader
were
through
drenched.
the needles of the ancient tree.
And bound.
He narrows his eyes, focusing his will on the man, until the leader's movements seem to slow, every twitch of his robes becoming a predictable rhythm. Flannel whistles a sharp,
Hope we brought the towel.
plummeting note, and his charcoal hawk folds its wings, diving like a stone toward the glowing ember in the leader's hand. The hawk's talons rake the air inches from the leader's knuckles, but the fanatic is faster than he looks. He snaps the ember back, the glowing heat singeing the hawk's tail feathers and forcing the bird to bank away before it can snatch the leash. Seizing the opening, Flannel draws his flat bow and releases a venom-tipped arrow toward the leader's eye. Just as the arrow leaves the string, a blast of heat from the leader's ember warps the air. The shifting thermal current catches the fletching, sending the arrow wide to thud harmlessly into a blackened watchtower beam. Flannel instantly presses himself against the trunk, pulling his cloak tight to vanish back into the shadows of the branches. On the ridge, Neo raises his hands to the darkening
time for race
sky.
run.
A sudden violent crack of thunder rolls over the hills as the air turns heavy and thick. A torrential downpour erupts over the ruins, the heavy rain instantly hissing against the smouldering tower and drenching the cultists in a freezing curtain of water.
Roots of the hill, wake and bind.
The earth
Yep,
beneath the
have fun
tower
with the
heaves
mod
as thick, gnarled
clamps.
roots burst through the stone floor. The wooden ruins groan as the vines wrap around pillars and ankles alike. Cultist 3 and 4 scramble away, receiving only shallow scratches as they dive behind cover, while Cultist 5 is caught firmly, the crushing roots bruising his legs as he struggles to stay upright. Cosmo stands tall on the ridge, seizing a jagged chunk of rock the size of a man's head. With a grunt of effort, he heaves it high into the air, the stone whistling as it arcs down like a mortar shell. He follows it with a second, and a third, the projectiles smashing into the ruins below. The stones shatter against the watchtower walls, spraying shards of granite. Guard 1 takes a heavy blow to his shoulder while shielding the leader, his armor denting under the impact. Guard 2 and the other cultists reel as the debris peppers the area, leaving them bruised and bloodied as they try to find shelter from the falling stone and rising vines. Pippa Tumblebrook emerges from the rain-slicked crevice like a ghost. She blurs across the slope, her blades flickering through the chaos. She strikes with a surge of shadow energy, her dagger biting deep into Cultist 5's side and drawing a jagged line across Guard 1's ribs before she twists away, vanishing back into the grey mist of the downpour before they can even turn their heads.
Burn the rain. Find the druid.
The leader points the pulsing
Burn
ember
rain.
toward the ridge. A streak of
Well, the
white-hot
fire
fire erupts from the stone, cutting through the torrential rain with a violent hiss. The blast strikes the crest of the hill near Neo, the concussive heat throwing him backward and leaving his robes scorched and his skin blistered. The North Vale howler lets out a deafening roar, its mane dripping with rain. It ignores the vines snapping at its paws and lunges up the slope toward the ridge, its massive weight causing the scree to slide. It reaches the crest and swiped a clawed paw at Cosmo.
How did it make it
the
up?
force of the blow sending the giant born staggering back with
Mount
a
a
line
goat.
of shallow gashes across his chest.
Stay steady. They're blind in this mess.
Guards are mine. Cosmo, hold that beast, or it'll eat us all.
Guard 1 plants his obsidian spear in the mud, bracing himself in front of his leader, while Guard 2 stands over the stolen satchels, his eyes wild as he searches the ridge for the next volley. Below them, Cultist 3 and 4 shiver in the rain, pressing themselves into the stone corners of the ruins to escape the crushing roots. Cultist 5 groans, clutching his wounded side and trying to pull his robes over his head to stay dry, his eyes fixed on the ridge with a look of frantic terror as the heavy rocks continue to fall.
Did some damage to him, so...
Yeah. Crushing Roots was not the most effective, but, well, total chaos.
I took a bit...
I'm sure it was terrifying. All of a sudden it starts raining, there's arrows and hawks and vines and rocks flying from the sky, like, yeah.
The only thing missing was that you call lightning bolts, which I couldn't afford. Would have made a whole assemble. Drenching them and then frying them with bolts and making the plants eat them basically.
Oh, I didn't use cold shot, I used venomous shot. Okay, I messed that up. That's probably why I didn't hit.
I used Summon Rain, but apparently it didn't count as a cooldown. Well. I guess you can flood it out of their base or well camp. Yep, it missed a lot of things that didn't get a cooldown. I see North Whale was coming here, right?
The Vale Howler is in your guys' area, but no, there's the cultists are still down in the, we'll call it the valley.
The muck, you mean?
Yeah, the muck.
Love you.
I think your your weapons. Who has venom on their blades?
Not sure. Last time everyone got one, I didn't.
Yeah, it wouldn't let me when I asked to do it because you don't have a blade, I don't think.
Dagger blade. I used it though.
Yeah.
Yeah, just shoot.
Shadow strike with shadow. As for you, wait, no. I didn't use venomous shot. Whatever.
Let's see.
No. Okay, I guess it doesn't. No one has venom on their blades anymore. They'll rectify that in the future.
Well, I'm going for the North Whale Hover, I guess. With a large combo, where are we going? Gonna be a bear hug.
Cosmo plants his feet in the sliding scree, catching the howler's massive chest with both palms. He heaves the beast back with a roar of effort, creating just enough space to uncoil the iron chain of his axe. As the predator lunges again, Cosmo steps into a cleaving charge, swinging the heavy blade in a great upward arc that bites deep into the beast's silver-grey chest and sends a spray of dark blood into the rain. From the cedar branches, Flannel breathes through the chaos and releases 2 arrows in a blurred, cold shot. The first hissed through the leader's thermal veil, singeing the fletching but striking the man's shoulder, while the second arrow sinks into the howler's snout, just below its bioluminescent eye. High above, Flannel's hawk dives again, its talons raking at the leader's face to keep him distracted before the serpentkin pulls back into the thickest needles to vanish once more.
You cannot hide from the fire. The air itself will betray you.
Neo rapidly consumes a handful of enchanted berries, the magic knitting that burns on his skin before his form twists and expands. He erupts into the shape of a massive dark-furred bear, though the shifting magic feels heavy and sluggish in the downpour. He lunges at the howler with a burst of strength, his claws raking the predator's flank. But the beast's silver fur proves thick, and it snarls with renewed vigor as it absorbs the brunt of the bear's weight. Pippa blurs through the mist, her eyes tracking the howler's nervous, twitching to see the way it shies away from the leader's ember. Recognizing the beast's fear of the flame as its true weakness, she pivots toward the ruins. She executes a swift strike, her blade carving a deep, crimson ruin across Guard One's throat, before she melts back into the grey rain like a shadow.
Die, you little rat.
Vera Stone seizes the opening, sliding low through the mud to deliver a sweeping kick that knocks Guard One's legs out from under him. As he falls, she drives a short-range thrust into his gut, leaving him gasping and broken in the muck. The North Vale howler ignores the pain of the arrow in its snout and the bear's claws. It puts its immense weight into a bone-crushing leap, pinning Cosmo against the muddy ridge. Its yellowed fangs snap inches from his throat, tearing a jagged wound into the giant-born's shoulder as he struggles to keep the massive head away.
Eyes on me, you overgrown rug.
Elaine twists his hand in a sharp motion, weaving a minor glamour that causes the air around the howler to shimmer and distort. The beast's pupils dilate as its balance falters, its grip on Cosmo's shoulders slipping in the mud. The flame heals the worthy. Trapped in the roots, the woman closes her eyes as a dull orange glow pulses from her palm, cauterizing the worst of her wounds, even as the rain hisses against her skin. Nearby, Cultist 4 continues to crawl through the mud, his fingers frantic as they search the blackened debris for his lost ritual dagger.
Queen of the Ash, grant us the strength to burn this cold world away.
Guard 2 remains crouched over the leather satchels, his eyes wide and shifting toward the trees. He sees the tide turning and prepares to bolt for the darker hollows, his fingers tightening on the stolen messages.
Hmm.
You gotta
Yay,
get
Lola.
Yeah.
that one done.
Yeah, I'll take care of that one. What was it? Guard 2? Okay.
Is the guard 2 running?
Yeah, I'll get him.
Oh, I can get him otherwise.
Yeah, maybe both of us go for him. Tangle him up. Oh,
I
wait,
mean, I
guard
just got
2
my
is...
build point.
Oh, guard 1's dead. Nice cut across the throat.
I said I was talking about lightning storms. Well, now I have it. Zap. You wanted Cultist 2 to go poof, right?
Guard 2 needs to be stopped.
Oh, maybe we stopped. The bear hugging though might be a bit of an issue.
He's... yeah.
Well, I'm wrestling with the North Vale thing while calling lightning bolts on the guard.
Might be a little overkill. Might not be able to do everything I just wanted to do. The disabling shot I really hope goes through, but like the 2 shots on the cultist, Serpent's Gaze, and then the hawk keeps attacking while I hide. I don't know if the narrator will get all that. It's a lot of actions for it to pick up on. So,
well,
hopefully.
they'll say that one guard will not be electrocuted in rain. I do have one attack bar I could do, but I don't want to push too much.
Hadn't even like checked the party's health. I was like, maybe we should check on Cosmo's health. Nah, he's fine.
Well, I can throw a few bears down his throat.
But that's not gonna stop me. I got a few tricks up my sleeve.
High in the cedar, Flannel exhales a slow, steady breath. He releases a heavy arrow that shears through the rain, striking guard 2's leg, just as the man tries to scramble behind a pillar. Without pausing, Flannel draws and bloots 2 more shafts, his eyes narrowing as he locks onto the woman in the roots. 2 venom-tipped arrows hiss through the downpour in rapid succession, thudding deep into cultist 5's shoulder and chest.
Look into the dark beast. See the predator that owns these hills.
From his perch,
Okay.
Flannel fixes the North Vale howler with a piercing, hypnotic stare. The massive creature flinches, its predatory focus fragmenting as Flannel's serpent's gaze clouds its mind with phantom terrors. Below, the charcoal hawk continues its relentless assault, diving through the leader's heat veil to rake at his eyes and keep his magic fractured.
The sky answers.
Neo rears up, his great paws crackling with static. A jagged bolt of white lightning tears through the black clouds, slamming into the stone pillar beside guard 2. The explosion of masonry sprays the cultist with shrapnel, and the secondary arc of the bolt leaps into the howler's flank, leaving a scorched trail across its silver fur. On the ridge, Pippa Tumblebrook weaves her fingers through the mist, her voice a rhythmic murmur that pulls at the threads of the air.
Light it up, big guy.
Suddenly, a searing, illusory brand of the pyre's own flame symbol erupts across Cosmo's iron breastplate.
Uh-oh.
The North Vale howler, already dazed
What
by
did you
Flannel's
just do?
gaze, yelps in primal terror at the sight of its master's brand appearing on the giant bourne.
Oh.
It recoils, its muscles locking up in a spasm.
It's
of
from
fear.
my
Cosmo
thing.
seizes the moment of the beast's hesitation. He drops his axe, sliding through the slick mud, to wrap his massive, tree-trunk arms around the howler's neck in a crushing lock. He heaves upward, pinning the predator's head against the ridge and exposing its soft, pale underbelly to his companions. While the beast is pinned, Pippa blurs toward the ruins. She ducks under a wild, sobbing swing from Cultist 3's dagger and drives her own blade deep into the woman's side before vanishing back into the shadows of the rock crevice.
Mercy, Queen, let me burn.
My blade. I see it. The curse stays back if I hold the steel.
Cultist 5 hums a low,
Time
vibrating
to show them what
note,
happens when magic
her
goes poof.
skin glowing a dull, feverish orange. The magic cauterizes the fresh arrow wounds in her chest, the steam rising from her robes as she forces herself to stay upright against the crushing roots.
Pesky bird! I will roast you in your nest.
The leader pulses his ember, sending a dome of shimmering heat outward that singes the hawk's wings and forces it to circle higher. He glares at the ridge, his face contorted in a mask of fanatical rage as the rain turns to steam around him.
You aren't going anywhere with those satchels.
Vera slides through the muck, her twin blades flashing. She carves a shallow arc across guard 2's shins, keeping him pinned behind his shattered pillar and preventing him from escaping with the stolen messages.
Hold the line. If we take a leader, the rest will scatter like ash in the wind.
Elaine springs toward the ruins, his rapier leveled at the satchels, while the howler thrashes helplessly in Cosmo's grip.
Nice.
Yeah, because I identified that his weakness was the pyre flame symbol. So I casted it on Cosmo so he would let go. So he would get like fear and let go.
Okay, then I slipped
Oh,
in.
nice.
Right, I need somebody to take a couple. I've got him held. I need somebody to take a couple of shots at him. Or I just, like, I could just.
Huh, it gave me a new ability.
Yeah.
Doing that.
Yeah, it's cool when you create things and you get them reward for it.
Mm.
Neo, in his massive bear form, slams his paws into the mud. Thick, thorn-studded vines erupt from the earth around the ruins, twisting like serpents to coil around the legs of the remaining cultists. As they struggle against the grasping flora, Neo exhales a harsh, vibrating breath, sending a spray of needle-sharp wooden thorns whistling through the rain. Cultist 3, 4, and 5 scream as the thorns shred their robes and bite into their skin. Cultist 3 lunges forward
You're
with
bleeding.
a jagged ritual dagger, aiming a desperate stab at the space where Pippa just stood, but her blade only finds the empty, rain-heavy air. Cultist 4 ignores the thorns stinging his flesh, his eyes fixed on the mud. He scrambles forward, his fingers finally closing around his lost ritual dagger. He clutches the steel to his chest like a holy relic, his shivering frame hunched over as the battle rages around him. Behind a shattered stone pillar, Guard 2 thrusts his obsidian spear frantically at Vera Stone. The jagged glass tip keeps her at bay, forcing her to circle wide as the guard clutches the stolen messenger satchels to his chest with his free arm. High in the cedar, Flanneil's hands move with a practiced arcane rhythm. A translucent arrow of shimmering light weaves itself into existence between his fingers. He draws his flat bow and releases, the spectral shaft sinking deep into the howler's exposed, soft belly as Cosmo holds the beast pinned. Flannel immediately draws a second arrow, his breathing slowing to a standstill. His charcoal hawk strikes, diving through the steam to rake at the leader's eyes. As the fanatic flinches, Flannel releases a steady shot aimed straight for the man's heart. The arrow punches through the leader's shoulder, narrowly missing his heart, but spinning him around. The pyre leader snarls, raising his glowing ember to unleash a beam of white-hot fire, but the hawk's wings buffet his face, causing the blast to streak harmlessly into the sky, boiling the falling rain into a thick fog. Pippa blurs through
Great,
the
now we
rising
can't see
steam,
shit.
following Elaine's shadow. She springs from the mist with a sudden, silent leap, her dagger sinking deep into the leader's back.
Nice.
The fanatic gasps, the light in his eyes flickering as he staggers under the weight of the strike.
Fall, you bastard.
Elaine's toxin-coated blade flashes through the steam, finding the gap in the leader's thermal veil and biting into his ribs. The cultist leader collapses to his knees, his grip on the glowing ember weakening as he wheezes in the mud, barely clinging to life. Barely clinging to life. On the ridge, Cosmo's muscles bulge like knotted oak as he maintains his crushing grip on the North Vale Howler's neck. He squeezes with all his giant-born strength, trying to snap the beast's spine or choke the life from it. The Howler thrashes, its claws furrowing deep trenches in the mud. Despite the arrow in its gut and Cosmo's weight, the predator's massive neck muscles resist the killing blow. It let out a choked, wet snarl, its bioluminescent eyes flickering with a mixture of rage and fading strength as it continues to fight the hold.
Nice. Crushing hold. New ability. Nice.
Well, that's pretty creative.
Okay, cultist leader's down. That's good. Alright, you're gonna deal with the Northern Vale. New ability I shall use. Should add modifier strength in the beginning of that.
What?
In the very beginning, using strength, whatever skill, use crushing hold.
Okay. Using strength.
Skill.
So this goes. Try to improvise a bit.
Use crushing hold to continue to choke over.
I love that you're a bear and you're just like using druid magic. Like, I can just picture you like standing on your back paws, like, what's him? What him?
Instead, I had the whole animal kingdom shoe strong. Let's use my elven knowledge to figure out something better. Like a water anaconda, whatever. Strangle them all. I was like a kid to kill a croc from Batman or whatever.
High in the cedar, Flannel weaves a singular arrow from the absolute dark between the branches. The shaft thrums with concentrated shadow as he releases it. The projectile streaks through the fog, slamming into Guard 2's shoulder with enough force to nearly spin him off his feet. Before the man can recover, the charcoal hawk stoops from the mist, its talons shredding the guard's hood and face. Flannel fixes his gaze on the woman in the roots, marking her with a cold, predatory intent. Satisfied with the kill zone, he melts back into the thickest needles of the tree, becoming nothing more than a silhouette in the rain. Neo, still in his massive bear form, exhales a cloud of frost. He draws upon the ancient memories of the moon elves, his form rippling and hardening into a creature of dense, wet fur and iron-like muscle better suited for the mud. He lashes out with a spray of enchanted thorns that pepper the three cultists, drawing fresh lines of crimson across their soot-stained skin.
The bear will burn with the rest of the forest.
The woman lunges, her
Smokey
ritual
the
dagger
bear?
biting deep into the bear's shoulder. Nearby, Cultist 5 spits a glob of sticky, liquid fire that clings to Neo's fur, the chemical heat searing his flank despite the torrential rain. On the ridge, Cosmo's veins stand out like cords as he invokes his crushing hold. He twists his massive weight, his forearms tightening around the North Vale Howler's windpipe with a density of stone. The beast's frantic scratching slows to a rhythmic twitching as its airway collapses under the giant-born's relentless pressure. Pippa Tumblebrook blurs through the chaos like a whirlwind of mud and steel. She kicks a handful of grit into Cultist 3's eyes before slashing Cultist 4's, reaching hand and hammering the pommel of her blade into Cultist 5's temple. The strikes are fast and messy, leaving the trio reeling and bloody, before Pippa rolls backward into the safety of the rock crevice. Guard 2, his shoulder shattered by Flannel's shadow arrow and his face a mask of blood from the hawk, thrusts his obsidian spear desperately at Vera Stone's throat. The jagged glass tip whistles past her ear, forcing her to abandon her strike to avoid being impaled.
Drop the bags and live, lad. Keep holding them and you're just wait for the grave.
Guard 2 ignores Elaine, his eyes wide with panic as he clutches the satchels and scans the fog for a way out. Cultist 4, clutching his recovered dagger to his chest, ignores his bleeding allies. He drags himself through the muck toward the blackened base of the watchtower, whispering frantic, broken prayers into the mud.
Queen, hear the ash. Let the fire find me. The steel is back. I am worthy.
The North Vale Howler's bioluminescent eyes begin to dim as its tongue lolls from its mouth, its massive body finally going limp in Cosmo's iron embrace.
Ooh, I got Shadow Weaver.
Okay, so
cool.
He's dead. So now I can comment.
That's me. It's gonna happen one more time. Cool. Alright, who's still alive? Alright, guard 2's dead.
Well, the guard's in the grave.
Is it a castle? Slow it down.
High in the cedar, Flannel releases a heavy shaft that whistles through the rain, punching through Cultist 3's shoulder and spinning her around. He immediately begins weaving ambient darkness into his next shot. The resulting arrow of solidified shadows slams into Cultist 4 with abnormal force, pinning his tattered robes to the muddy earth, just as the charcoal hawk dives to rake at the man's face. Flannel then pulls back, vanishing completely into the dark needles of the tree. Neo, in his bear form, paws at his mouth to consume a cluster of purple berries infused with nature's vitality. As the magic knits the worst of his burns, he lunges forward. He maws at the struggling cultists, his teeth and claws tearing into their ranks and leaving them reeling in the muck. burn in the Queen's name. Cultist 5 spits a glob of sticky liquid fire directly at Neo's face. The chemical flame clings to his fur and sears near his eyes, forcing the bear to roar in pain as the heat bites deep. On the ridge, Cosmo delivers a final, bone-cracking twist to the North Vale Howler's neck. The massive predator gives one last, wet shudder before going completely limp. Cosmo drops the beast and charges down the slope like a landslide, barreling into the ruins. He seizes the wounded cultist 4 by the throat, hoisting the man high into the air before slamming him down with giant-born force. The ground slam shatters the earth beneath them, leaving the cultist broken and incapacitated in a crater of mud. From her crevice, Pippa Tumblebrook watches the final cultist's fall. She blurs toward the bodies of the near-death fanatics, her daggers flashing twice to ensure no more spells are cast. She quickly begins rifling through their soot-stained sashes, her nimble fingers searching for anything of value in the pockets of the fallen. Near the shattered pillar, Elaine lunges forward. His rapier finds a gap in Guard 2's defense, biting deep into the man's chest. Simultaneously, Vera Stone's short sword flashes in a horizontal arc, carving a deep ruin across the guard's throat.
The satchels.
I'm not dead.
The guard collapses, barely clinging to life as he loses his grip on the leather bags. Elaine snatches the messenger satchels from the mud, tucking them under his arm and nodding toward the path leading back to the city.
We've got what we came for. Let's get out of this rain before more of them smell the smoke.
The group retreats from the smouldering watchtower, descending through the jagged clefts of the broken hills as the storm finally begins to break. The trek back is a long, muddy haul through the foothills, the silhouette of the city's towers rising against the darkening sky. They reach the outskirts of Alden's Watch under the cover of evening. The atmosphere in Arden's Landing is thick with the smell of river silt and wood smoke. Dozens of ships are moored at the wharves of the Silver Flow, their lanterns swaying in the breeze. Caravans of merchants and weary pilgrims queue at the massive city gates, their wagons creaking on the cobbles. Near the statue of Ardan, a small crowd has gathered around a town crier, but the landing is otherwise busy with the usual nocturnal commerce of the docks.
We look like we've crawled through a grave. Keep your hoods up until we're past the gate guards.
Straight to the tower, or do we find a drink first? My boots are half full of the Highvale Hills.
Yeah, can you press yes? Okay.
Yeah, I think the AI has been a bit overkilled this weekend.
Okay. So... check the bodies quick in order, and we'll head over to the Queen's main post. We need it now. Okay.
Flannel descends from the cedar tree, his boots landing softly in the churned mud. He moves with clinical focus toward the massive carcass of the North Vale howler, his hunting knife drawn. With practiced, steady strokes, he begins the grim work of skinning the beast, peeling back the thick silver fur from the muscle beneath. Once the hide is secured, Flannel circles the battlefield. He retrieves his spent arrows from the mud and the corpses, wiping the toxin and blood from the shafts before sliding them back into his quiver. He moves through the smouldering watchtower, sifting through the blackened debris for anything the fire didn't claim.
Clean work, everyone. Let's see what these fanatics were hiding besides bad breath and embers.
Pippa moves among the fallen cultists with nimble efficiency. She loots their soot-stained sashes and pockets, collecting a handful of copper florins, a small bundle of dried herbs, and a strange, jagged piece of obsidian that pulses with a faint, internal heat.
They won't be needing these anymore.
Cosmo retrieves his axe from the mud, the heavy steel glistening in the rain. Using the blade and his daggers, he goes about the heavy work of taking the cultists' heads as trophies. He strips the crimson robes from the cooling bodies and stuffs them, along with the heads, into his large net bag, the weight of his grim cargo barely slowing him as he follows the group.
Pack it up. We've stayed in this light long enough to draw every scavenger in the hills. Move out.
The party leaves the smoldering ruins behind, climbing out of the ravine and into the higher reaches of the broken hills. The terrain grows steeper here, a maze of rocky slopes and deep ravines where the wind whistles through jagged standing stones. They arrive in the upper hills. Loose scree slides beneath their boots as they navigate narrow goat paths that wind between stunted wind-blown trees. Multiple trails branch off into the gloom, some plunging into dark hollows, others rising toward the jagged peaks above.
Keep your eyes sharp. These paths are designed to break angles and hide ambushes.
There's a settlement deeper in. If we're lucky, it's the Broken Crown. If we're not, it's another nest of rats. Let's keep moving while we still have the shadows.
Ahead, the path splits again. One trail leading toward a distant, low-slung building tucked against a ridge, another winding down toward a small cluster of dim lights in the valley below, and a third disappearing into the mouth of a dark cave complex.
Where are we going?
Okay, I didn't get...
I got no stamina, so...
Yeah, we're gonna have to rest. I also didn't get any of my arrows back.
Well, I have two camouflage moves, Fog Bank or Natural Camouflage.
Build the camp.
Yeah, I think now we actually have the stuff. Cool.
Neo, the great bear of the forest, begins to shimmer as his massive frame shrinks and elongates.
That's what I am now?
The thick,
Okay.
matted fur recedes into pale skin,
The great
and linen
bear.
robes his features
You know, the
returning to
small
those
bear.
of the
No,
moon
the greatest.
elf.
The fire, it bites deep.
Neo presses his glowing palms against his scorched flank and face. The green light seeps into the burns, knitting the charred flesh and soothing the raw heat until the skin is whole once more.
Here, Neo. Found these on one of those charred lunatics. Maybe you can turn them into something that doesn't taste like mud.
Pippa drifts away from the group, her eyes narrowing as she scans the silhouettes of the surrounding standing standings and the treacherous goat. She looks for the telltale glint of steel or the unnatural stillness of a hidden scout, ensuring no eyes follow them from the ravines. Near a sheltered overhang, Cosmo heaves a massive flat slab of stone to create a windbreak. He works with steady, mountain-born efficiency, clearing the sharpest scree to create a level space for the party to rest. Flannel moves alongside him, using his survival skills to brace the camp. He weaves together gnarled branches and heavy moss to form makeshift bedding and a rain-deflecting lean-to against the rock face, his black scales blending into the shadows. Once the perimeter is set, Flannel scales a jagged granite spire overlooking the camp. He settles into a narrow crevice with his bow across his knees, pulling out his leather-bound volumes on spatial manifestation to study the text by the dim, flickering light of an alchemical lamp.
Keep the light hooded. Any fire we build stays small and deep in the rocks. Elaine, look at those seals. You recognize the...
Elaine sits with the leather satchels across his thighs, the blood of the guard still drying on his knuckles. He slides his dagger under the heavy red wax of the first bag, popping the seal with a crisp snap.
These aren't cultist rags. These are League seals, courier marks from Arden's watch. If the Pyre went through the trouble of killing a League messenger, they were trying to bury something important. Let's see what the High Vale scouts were trying to tell the city.
He unrolls the parchment, the paper crinkling in the quiet night as he begins to scan the contents.
Gone. Sleep.
Flannel sets a small, intense fire deep within the hollow of the rocks, shielding the glow with a heavy cloak. He cleans the heath hen meat with practiced efficiency, skewering the portions on thin green wood. The smell of roasting poultry, simple and hearty, begins to cut through the damp scent of the hills.
I don't have their heads anymore. Sorry, Cosmo.
As the others eat, Flannel's charcoal hawk blurs and shifts, its form elongating and narrowing until a sleek cobra drapes itself across his shoulders. Its tongue flickers, tasting the air for threats. Flannel leans back against a stone, his hands moving in rhythmic gestures as he calls upon the shadows between the rocks. Translucent, obsidian-hued arrows manifest in his grip, shimmering briefly before he lets them fade, honing the speed of his manifest. Elaine leans closer to the small fire, the courier's parchment spread across his knees. His eyes track the lines of ink rapidly, his jaw tightening as he reaches the end of the report.
This isn't just news of a raid. The scouts found the staging ground. The Pyre is planning a full ambush on the main merchant road leading into Arden's Watch. They're looking to choke the city's supplies before the first snow.
Vera sits against the flat stone slab Cosmo hauled into place, her short sword across her lap. She pulls a whetstone from her belt, the rhythmic scritch-scritch of stone on steel providing a steady beat to the night wind. She looks over the group, her gaze lingering on the bandaged wounds and tired eyes.
Eat up and get what sleep you can. We've done the city a favor tonight, but we're still in the thick of it. Is anyone too busted up to move by first light?
Cosmo, his massive frame dwarfing the makeshift lean-to, simply grunts a negative and settles into the level space he cleared. He closes his eyes, his breathing soon falling into the deep, heavy rhythm of sleep. Pippa curls into a small ball on a bed of moss and branches, her daggers never far from her hands, even as her eyes drift shut. Nearby, Neo leans back against the rough granite, his exhaustion finally pulling him under into a restorative moon elf trance. Flannel eventually settles beneath his wool cloak, the conjured cobra remaining coiled and vigilant on a nearby rock. One by one, the party slips into the heavy silence of the hills. The night passes without the sound of howlers or the tread of cultist boots. When the first grey light of dawn begins to bleed over the jagged peaks, the group stirs. The air is biting and crisp, and the fire has long since died to cold white ash. The travellers wake refreshed, their gear packed, and their bodies ready for the steep paths ahead.
Sun's up. Let's find that tavern or that cave before the rest of the world wakes up to find their scouts missing.
The upper hills wait, the trails now visible in the cold morning light, leading toward the mystery of the flickering lights in the valley, and the dark mouth of the cave complex.
Yes, tavern. Stay peaceful. Where are we heading? by the way?
Not sure.
She was on about either a cave or the tavern, or are we moving, like... Gonna go that way anyway.
I think probably only do one more turn. We'll run this turn and then call it good.
Hi ho, hi ho, it's off to get a dragon queen.
If I was not as tired as I am now, I might actually be able to be creative and make it flow, but meh, you get the point.
It's alright. It's late. Been a long day.
Go. Little naughty doggy. Look at that. Wake up, look for some coffee.
As the grey dawn settles over the upper hills, Flannel works with quiet, intense speed. Using his craftsman's toolkit and the fresh, silver-furred hide of the North Vale howler, he cuts and sews with clinical precision. He lines the interior with the thickest tufts of fur, reinforcing the soles with scraps of toughened leather. The resulting greaves are supple, rugged, and perfectly fitted to his lean legs. Once the boots are laced tight, Flannel slips into the morning mist. He returns a short while later with a brace of fat mountain hares. Over a small shielded fire, he prepares a quick meal of roasted meat, the fat dripping and sizzling into the embers.
Hey-ho, hey-ho, hey-ho. It is off to kill a dragon queen.
Cosmo stirs from his place against the windbreak, his massive frame shaking off the chill of the stone. He stands to his full height, the heavy links of his mail jingling softly as he stretches his broad shoulders and straightens his breastplate, looking refreshed and ready for the climb.
Flip a coin for our serpent, O Valley of Plenty.
Tell me someone found a bean or a leaf worth brewing. I'd trade a finger for a cup of coffee right now.
Finding no coffee, Pippa settles for a generous portion of the roasted hare Flannel provides. She stuffs the meat into one of her stolen rye rolls, eating with a focused intensity before checking her daggers and nodding to the others.
Save the singing for when we've got a roof over our heads.
Shut up.
Those lights in the valley are our best bet.
Vera points toward the distant, flickering cluster at the base of the ridge.
A settlement means ears and eyes. I'd rather talk to a frightened villager than wander into a cave that smells like a goblin's larder.
Right behind you, Vera. These scrolls tell us what the scouts knew, but the locals will know what they've seen in the last hour.
Alain falls into step beside her, his hand resting casually on the hilt of his rapier as the party begins the descent toward the cluster of lights. The goat path narrows, winding down the steep, rocky face of the ridge toward the valley floor where the settlement huddles against the wind.
And we head down then. It seems that way.
Plus one what? Plus one survival. That's not what it said. I stand on the stupid rabbit hole of fixing gear. Yeah, well, I can't put them on anyways. What? I think we're done for the night.
Oh. Oh, okay.
I was just messing around trying to get these to... Oh. They're not going to. Of course. I have nothing on me feet. I don't feel like doing this right now. I hate it. Make it so I can equip it. Why has this gotta be so goddamn difficult every single time? Are they? Oh, they're like pants. They're not feet. Oh. I still don't have shoes. Still without them. Okay. Alright, everybody, that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, turn the bell, check out the link below for Discord. Tips, tricks, always welcome. If you want to game with me, that's where you can find me. If you're feeling frisky and fright, hit the join button. Love to have you part of that fun crew. Alright, y'all have a good. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Everybody's so tired.